TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
Welcome back to TGR News.
Hello, hello.
We will talk about the War of Shadows, which is basically the Middle Eastern version of the Cold War, plus how a large shipment of weapons and even armored cars were delivered to the Palestinians from the U.S. But first, let's say thank you. Thank you so much for everything you guys do. It is such a blessing you guys have done to these precious people, these families, these children here in the state of Israel. This week is Rosh Hashanah coming up. Tonight, Rosh Hashanah, right?
Yeah.
And so happy Rosh Hashanah. And you, just so you know, you also gave happy Rosh Hashanah to these wonderful people that are in so desperate need of help. We usually don't. We take the opportunity with the unfortunate situation these people are in to give them only healthy food, no sugars and no candies and no cakes. But for the holidays, we usually give them candy. Like the tradition for Rosh Hashanah, the Happy New Year's is honey. So we gave them honey cakes.
Yeah.
So you gave them a holiday gift. So thank you for giving them the holiday gifts, and they appreciate it. And it's such a wonderful thing to be a part of. It's all from your blessings. And if you haven't been a part of this ministry and you want to, there are links below every one of our videos to the Patreon page and to the Support Us page. Or you could just go to thegoldenreport.com and go to the Support Us page there and figure out whichever way is best for you to send your love and support to these wonderful, precious people here in the state of Israel who so desperately need your help.
Yeah.
So thank you for everything you guys do. And don't forget, also liking, subscribing, and sharing these videos is another way to support us. So that one don't cost you anything.
Yeah, and it helps a lot.
And it helps a lot. Well, let's get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
Happy holidays one more time.
Yeah, you too.
Oh, thank you. Well, the War of Shadows is the name of the war that has been going on between Israel and Iran for years. We usually don't talk about it, name it, but that's the name that most people are giving it. This isn't the name that I gave it, but it is the name that the Mossad and others call it. The head of the Mossad, in a speech on Monday, stated that they have successfully stopped 27 attacks on Jews and Israelis all over the world this past year. He went on to say that we have and will continue to make operations on Iranian soil to stop the nuclear threat. He even showed Iranian agents being interviewed by Mossad agents inside Iran on Iranian soil and the rest of the world as well. Dadi Barnea, which is the name of the head of the Mossad, even went on to say that he will never allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon.
Well, this is a little bit too much, yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but I understand why he said it, and I agree with him saying it. I just understand that also he understands he can't. We've said it before. We've already passed the point where we can have a conversation in the world. Our world leaders, or ones with any sense, can no longer sit down and have a conversation. How can we stop this? Now the conversation is one of two things. How can we slow Iran down from having a nuclear weapon? That's it. Or how do we deal with Iran as a nuclear power once they have nuclear weapons? Exactly. Those are the only conversations you can have anymore. Yeah. Saying that they're not going to anymore, that's...
Yeah, it's not if, it's when.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We've passed that point. They're so close. And even if we destroyed everything that they have to make nuclear weapons, you can never take away the two things that is the most important to getting their nuclear weapons. And those two things are, number one, the desire, and number two, the knowledge. You can never take that away from them. Now that they know how to do it and they want to do it, they're going to do it. Yep. You can just slow them down or get ready for the day when they are. Yeah. But I understand. But the head of the Mossad, he had made some very interesting comments there. Very interesting comments in that statement, and it was something to be heard.
Yeah, yeah. On Monday, the Minister of Defense here in Israel, Gallant, exposed a secret Iranian base in South Lebanon that makes military drones. This base is no farther from our border than 12 miles. A good question to ask is why is the Minister of Defense exposing the base instead of eliminating this base?
Yes. It's a good question. It is a very good question because usually we don't talk about them. We just take care of them. And now we're not taking care of it. We're talking about it. We're talking 12 miles, 20 kilometers. I guesstimated it's about 12 miles from our border.
Yep.
Right? I mean, that's close. And these drones are long distance drones anyway. So, I mean, but still being that close, it means they're that quickly into Israel. I don't have any doubts in the ability of Iron Dome and the new Iron Dome and even the newer, not Iron Dome, but other military equipment especially for taking down drones. I still believe that all works just fine, even if the drone was launched only 12 miles away. But still, when you have an Iranian base building drones right on your border, you should do something about it instead of talking about it. But I think they're just trying to get the rest of the world. They're taking a chance. They said, we'll throw the dice and say, we'll take the extra threat just to hopefully make the rest of the world wake up and see what's happening.
That's what I wanted to say. It looks like it's for the world opinion more than let's just deal with it. Let's let the world know, and they will like more information for the world to be on our side. I think that's what he tried to do.
Yes, absolutely. Also on Monday, the commanding chief of the IDF, Herzi Halevi, stated that Israel needs to be in a higher state of readiness than ever before. Basically, the head of the IDF telling the people of Israel to be ready for a large war around the corner. That was basically his whole speech. This after Hezbollah released a strange statement saying that within 2 years, Israel will be attacked from all sides and all enemies. I say it's strange because of the 2 years, not the rest of it, because the rest of it they always say.
Yeah.
But I don't ever remember hearing them make such a term of public plans, make their plans so public of the time schedule in 2 years.
Yeah.
That's strange. I've been here, I've been in the IDF for almost 24 years. And every year Hezbollah says they're going to attack. That's normal. If they didn't say, when they don't say they're going to attack, that's when you need to worry. When you see Hezbollah saying, we're going to attack, I've never seen them attack when they say it. I've always seen them attack when they don't say it. That's 100% so far.
Yeah.
But I've never seen them say, in 2 years, they're going to be an attack. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. That's different. It could be the same as empty threats, but it is different than what they usually do.
My question is, if they say in 2 years it's going to be attacked, why should we let them those 2 years to train and get more stronger?
Well, you could say that's a good argument but you don't need them to say in 2 years because you can just history repeats itself.
Yeah.
A lot of smart people will tell you the best way to figure out what someone's going to do in the future is just look what their patterns, look at how they did in the past, and that's what they'll do in the future.
Yeah.
So Hezbollah is going to attack again. Hamas is going to attack again. Jordan, Egypt, all of them are going to attack again. So you could always use that on its own just to say, okay, well, let's go ahead and take them out. But that's the whole thing about the IDF. It's the IDF. It's not the IOF. It's the Israeli Defense Forces, not the Israeli Offensive Forces.
Yeah.
Well, Tuesday night on the road going through Hawara again, terrorists opened fire, injuring 2. The injuries were not life-threatening, thank God, and actually the injuries were from broken glass caused by the shots fired. This place, Hawara, has become a real hotspot, and it seems to be in the news every week. Something's happening there. Let me remind you that this is the place where the Arab store owners on the main street took down their surveillance cameras so that the IDF couldn't identify the terrorists and catch them. Now, this is not something happening everywhere else. This just happened right here. And it's like as if they knew there was going to be a lot more attacks coming, right?
Yeah.
So, and this is the majority. This is the majority of the people there. It's what we deal with.
They even made a poll and asked people, Palestinians or Arabs, in Hawara, if they support the terror attack that happened on two brothers that been killed.
I remember that.
And 70% of them openly said they support terror attack. And if you ask me, the other 30%, they was just too scared to say the truth.
Yes, exactly.
So they all support.
Yeah, this
and
is what we do.
The way they took cameras off. And last time when two family, father and his son went to wash a car and killed. So it just...
It's what we do.
It was a miracle that those people didn't... They was just too injured and only from the glasses. Because did you see the car? There were many bullets.
Many bullets,
it's a miracle they didn't hurt from the bullets themselves. Huh? So on Tuesday, for the first time in Israeli history, the Supreme Court decided to decide on the foundational law of probable cause, allowing the Supreme Court to make laws on probable cause.
I know it sounds... It's a tongue twister.
Yes, I know. All 15 Supreme Court judges joined to hear the Knesset stance on the subject, and even one of the judges slept and said that they had already decided. Of course, he fixed himself. Yeah. Israel does not have a constitution, so we have that what's called foundational laws.
Foundation.
These are laws that only the Knesset should have any say on what these laws say.
Absolutely.
It's hard to make them. It's hard to change them, and for sure, 15 judges who was not elected by the crowd, the people, which is democratic say.
They should not have any say in it. Yes, absolutely. Yes. People who chose themselves in office. Yeah, it was a tongue twister. It is a tongue twister. The Supreme Court is deciding to decide if they have the probable cause to change the law, if they have probable cause to change.
Yes.
Right? It's a real...
Yes.
It's a conundrum. Is what it is.
Yes. And actually, if you ask me, it doesn't matter what the decision will be, because the fact that they made this happen, the Supreme Court gathered together to discuss the basic law, the foundational law. This is the big deal, if you ask me, because this means they have the right to and a say about this kind of laws.
Right.
So
It's probably the biggest thing that's happening in Israel right now.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it every week because it's a lot of repetition and it seems to be a very slow moving thing. But for over 8 months now, insane numbers of protesters every week, and it's just it's one of the most dangerous things that's happening in the country right now, and it's something that we keep our eye on, obviously. And as something happens, we let you know.
Yeah, member Knesset being attacked every day, almost. Yeah, they're protesting violently. The left side.
Yeah. Well, this week the U.S. sent some weapons and armored vehicles to the Palestinian Authority through Jordan. By Palestinian reports, this included over 1,500 M16s with laser sights and AK-47s with 10 armored cars. They say Palestinian reports, but it is. That's what was sent. We know there was a shipment sent. So anyway, apparently this was with Israeli blessings, and Israel put some conditions on this deal. The Palestinian Authority cannot use it unless it's against terrorism. Gallant, our Minister of Defense, said that Israel did not authorize this deal. So that left us pretty confused because they didn't, it did come through Allenby. Israel did know it's coming through Jordan. We did know about it. But then Netanyahu came out and made everything clear pretty quick. He put out a statement and he clarifying that the former Prime Minister, Naftali Bennett, was the one that made this deal, and their hands were pretty much tied, and they had made this deal with the United States, and that was just what the deal was, and they couldn't stop it. And so now the Palestinian Authority have some amazing, I saw the videos of it, some amazing armored vehicles. I mean, strong vehicles and lots of weapons.
Yeah, actually Benny Gantz is the one who promised them this deal and signed this deal in the last
as Prime Minister Bennett,
But what was really crazy about it, it's you don't have to guess what Palestinian Authority what it's trying to do.
Oh, yeah.
You just listen to Abu Mazen's speeches. He's a Holocaust denier.
Yeah.
He's terrorist supporter. Yes.
Yeah, we was talking about it the other day. You can see very clearly what the people want and what the politicians of the people want when it comes to Palestinians. No such thing as Palestine, but Palestinians, what they call themselves, right? The Roman name, Palestine. And it's very clear. If a politician does not show, I'm talking about out public support, show support to terrorists, they will not be elected. The people want the terrorists to be supported.
Yes.
And they will not elect you if you're not. So any government elected Palestinian official has to be pro-terrorism. It's just like in Israel. We're mainly, thank God, we're still mostly a right-wing population. So most governments, if you look in the past of Israel, 95% of the governments of Israel have been right-wing. Why? Because the people are right-wing. So all of the Palestinian Arab leaders have all been terrorist supporters because the Arabs, the Palestinians themselves are terrorist supporters.
Yes.
It's like we talked about just a while ago. So closing the circle on what we talked about earlier on Hawara.
More than that, in Israeli Knesset, the Israeli Arab leaders, that's how you call them, they're also terrorist supporter because and that shows what Israeli Arabs, Arabs that live in Israel and have Israeli citizenship and have equal rights like Israelis, what they elect and what they want.
Yeah, it's true. That's what we live with here in this country. It's another beautiful fact of living in Israel.
Yeah.
But that's what we do. We give you the news of Israel as an Israeli. So it's so you feel what we feel. On Wednesday, a strange attack in Syria, and different than the usual Israeli air attacks. First of all, Israel has not taken responsibility for this attack, but the attack came from the sea and not from the air. It wasn't from planes. Syria said it was Israel, and that we took out some of their ports and stuff like that. Israel has a very strong navy, and this is very possible. So I guess we'll never know, but it's definitely possible. And they say the report said that it was missiles coming in from the sea. And like I said, Israel has an amazing navy. It could have been submarines, it could have been warships, it could have been anything.
Yeah.
Well, just a few hours later, another airstrike was allegedly made by Israel. This time, airport under Iranian control was attacked, as well as the Iranian targets in North Syria. And this, there was one right after the other, which sounds, actually, to tell you the truth, that's how Israel usually does things. But that's the game.
You didn't say that.
We just talked about it. It's called the War of Shadows. It's basically the Israeli and Iranian Middle Eastern version of the Cold War, right?
Yeah.
Other
thing that happened this week also is, again, like every week and almost every day now, in Gaza border, Arabs just go to the fence and instead of like
blowing
last
up
few years, this time they're blowing up.
Bringing bombs and blowing up.
But this time they didn't have this much luck.
Yeah, there was one of the times
one of the times it just exploded on them. Yeah. Of course, they're trying to blame Israel for shooting this. But as they say, Arabs themselves say, the eyewitnesses say, that they just, it was...
sort of a misfire of the bomb.
Yeah.
Well, what I understood was they took the bomb to the fence like they usually do. They lit it. Apparently it was a fused bomb.
Yeah.
And then they ran away like that was always as usual. When it didn't go off, they came back, tried to light it again, it didn't go off. And then the guy came and just picked it up and drug it back to the people. When it got around the people, it blew up.
Wow, such a...
Poor people. Yeah, they got injured and everything. But anyway, you got anything else you want to add?
I want to wish our supporters and the viewers Happy Rosh Hashanah.
Happy Jewish New Year.
Happy Jewish New Year, and this is very, very strong time that your prayers can be heard. Even that's what Jews say, you know.
Yes, we just put
We
your
just
prayers
put
in
your
the
prayers
wall.
in the wall. Yeah, we went to the wall, and now is the very, very important time of the year that they say the gates of the heaven open.
Yeah, in Jewish
guide-
in Jewish tradition.
Yes. So in the names, they write the names in the
It's a
book.
real special time in
Very
Jewish
special
tradition.
time. People also think about the bad times and if they have to ask forgiveness from other people also. And it's very special time also people between people to people, like how you
treat each other. Yes,
So
very important. Right?
yes,
During this time in Jewish tradition. That's very true.
yes.
Very true. Yeah, so we love all of you and we thank you all and happy Jewish New Year. And don't forget to join us on thegoldenreport.com. And until next time,
Shabbat shalom.
God bless.